Time to talk travel with our very own Steve Collins, who takes off to Lombok tonight.
Yeah, I'm heading up to Lombok on the inaugural Air Asia Perth Lombok flight. So up there for a few days.
Look, it's a wonderful destination for holiday. Because
yes.
I've been there maybe five or six times. And I'm looking forward to hearing back from you.
Well, it's weird because just a couple of weeks ago I was sitting on a mountain in Switzerland, being heavily snowed upon and loving every minute. And tomorrow I'm going to be snorkeling in a tropical island. It's a horrible job I've got. I don't know how I cope with it all.
I don't know how you cope with it either.
No. I know that Heather doesn't cope with it.
Yeah, I know. Heather has a way of dealing with it.
Just to stay at home and look after Tyson, but it's worth it.
Good idea.
He's a good dog.
Now, we're going to Switzerland.
Yeah, we are.
Told us you went there a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I did a grand rail tour of Switzerland, and this was important for me because, you know, I mean, I'm a train nerd. I love my trains.
You do love trains.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
And Switzerland has got some of the best train journeys in the world.
And we actually did a Skype cross just to practice.
Yeah, I was in Montreux at the time. It was a really, really cold and wet day in Montreux. The next day, if we had done it the next day, it would have been perfect because it was beautiful and sunny and it was just the most gorgeous scenery there.
Fantastic.
But I'm not going to get to Montreux today because...
I know you're going to talk about Luzern.
Luzern. Yes, because the tour started there in Luzern, which is... It's just under an hour from Zurich. There we go. That's Luzern. That's the Luce River. It's the most incredible. It's a medieval city. It's the most beautiful place. This is called the Chapel Bridge. It zigzags. It's the oldest covered bridge in the world, and it was built in about the 14th century. And it's just beautiful. This is another covered. They've got all these covered bridges there, really, really old.
Is it built for a reason? Like, is it used for something?
Well, it would have been a trading port originally because it's on Lake Lucerne. And it's just the most beautiful, gorgeous city. And I stayed in a wonderful hotel there, which was built out of 7 houses that were built in the 1500s. So every room was different. And it's just such lovely. It's nice and flat, so you can walk around it. And that's where they control the level of the river, because the river actually runs out of the lake.
Okay.
It doesn't feed into the lake. And there's all these wonderful buildings there. Look at that. I mean, it's just incredible.
The architecture,
those buildings are so old. And it was great. But from there, we caught the Interlaken Express.
Now, this was your favourite,
No, this was remarkable because the Interlaken Express... Yeah. Interlaken is so named because it's between all these lakes. And on this particular trip, we went by 5 different lakes, and you can see that because all the lakes are in the valleys, and you see those mountains up there.
How beautiful is the greenery?
It's just gorgeous.
Do you know the word Interlaken? I reckon Laken must be lake.
Yeah, well, Laken's lake, and inter means between lakes, and it literally is between lakes. This is a little stop called Brienz on one of the lakes, and you see all these amazing waterfalls just dropping from the mountains there. They've got these great long
Is it
drops.
as clean as it looks?
It is beautiful. Switzerland is extraordinarily clean, and we were going to Interlaken because there we're going up into the mountains to a little town called Grindelwald, and we'll get to Grindelwald in a minute.
That's just beautiful.
This is great. And I tell you what, one of the things that I had was the Swiss travel pass, and with the Swiss travel pass, you can hop on any train, bus, a tram or ferry anywhere inside inside Switzerland. You can also have access to 500 museums there. It's the most incredible thing.
And
it's a great thing. You just have this little pass and you hop on and hop off. Some of the trains, like the panoramic trains, because they're basically tourist trains, you need to have a reserved seat. So the only price you pay is to reserve that seat, and that's about 12.
Do the trains stop, Steve, from different locations?
Yeah.
So you can get off. It's not one of those.
No. They stop. In fact, we had to change trains quite often because they'd link towns, and then you go to a town and hop on another train.
And if you got off on the train, went in and had a coffee or whatever, and
hop on the next one.
You can hop on the next one. Oh, that's great.
No.
That's what the great
it's
deal
absolutely brilliant. And we'll show the address for that Swiss Travel Pass a little bit later.
Okay.
But look, if you're going to Switzerland, you've got to have it. But now we're going to go up into the mountains and up to I call it Grindelwald. Grindelwald. It's this beautiful little town in the Alps. It sits there below Mount Eiger. Now, Mount Eiger is one of the most challenging mountains in Switzerland, in the Swiss Alps. And here I caught the cable car, and we were going up a couple of thousand metres here.
I noticed you were speeding up.
But yeah, look at this. We started off, it was all green and nice, and here, very shortly up there, we're still within the tree line there, and it started snowing. And as we got higher and higher, there was more and more snow.
Is your cable cart closer to the snow?
Yeah, and look at the snow there, Fred. Look at that. That was just such a great experience.
Did the cable cart, was that included in the ticket, or you had to pay separately?
I think, I'm not entirely sure because I didn't pay for it. Yeah. But I don't know. Look at this. This is cliff top walk.
Scary.
You would not be doing this, Fred.
I wouldn't even
but this was wonderful. It's so narrow. You get those rocky overhangs, and it was ice on it. But it was just absolutely brilliant. This is at the top of a mountain. Now, normally you get this fantastic view of the Alps, but of course, and look, I got back down, look at that. Those are avalanches that I captured on film. Those things, that snow and that ice, that was falling.
They're not snow
several hundred, and yet you should hear the sound. It's these loud, makes these loud bangs.
Yeah.
There's Mount Eiger. That is the view from my hotel room. It's one of the best.
Had you been to
views.
Switzerland before?
Yeah, I've been to Switzerland before. I've been to Zurich
Many
before.
changes?
Yeah, well, I don't recall much because I went to Zurich as well, and Zurich's pretty much the same because they have laws there which preserve their cities and also preserve the style of houses there. They like it to be very traditional.
A couple of quick questions before you wrap up and show some websites. The people, were they nice?
Oh, absolutely wonderful.
Lots of places to eat good food?
Yeah, the food,
reasonable prices.
I'll tell you what they do the desserts very well because they're very into chocolate up there and ice cream.
Plenty of hotels to stay at?
I stayed in some magnificent hotels. They were all family-run hotels, and they were absolutely brilliant.
Yep.
So so to go there, you've got the website to go is www.myswitzerland.com. There we go, and that'll tell you all about Switzerland. But to get the Swiss Travel Pass, and this is what you must get if you go there, it's www.myswitzerland.com /
Travel
and
pass,
then it's called Rail /
I think we've got it on there.
Rail.
There it is.
And that gives you all. Now, the cost of the travel pass, the Swiss Travel Pass varies depending on how many days you got and whether you go first class or second class. But honestly, you just go anywhere you want.
I have to agree with you. A friend of mine's just come back from Japan. They did the same thing. They bought 2 travel passes, which let them go everywhere.
Yeah.
And when you're a tourist, it's the easiest way to get around.
Yep. And now this week was the 50th anniversary of the James Bond film on His Majesty's Secret Service, or on Her Majesty's Secret Service, starring the good old Australia's only James Bond.
Yes.
And that was filmed in the little town up near Grindelwald where I was. And the reason why it was chosen was because of the skiing. And when you get up there, the skiing's brilliant. But in summer, there's hundreds of kilometres of walks, and the Swiss love walking. It's just a fabulous spot.
Quick look at Switzerland with Steve Collins. You've got a website as well, which is Steve Collins Traveller.
Steve Collins, travel correspondent.com.
There it is. Have a wonderful time in Lombok. We look forward to seeing the pictures and everything else that's happening, and we welcome you back when you come back.
Thank you very much.
And have fun on AirAsia as well.
I shall.
That is Steve.